This is the Conservative Crusader.
Welcome back. This is the Conservative Crusader. Joining us now is the Director of Communications for the great organization, the Ohio Right to Life, a personal favorite organization of mine in the state. A personal friend of mine, I'd like to say. We're friends at least. Lizzie Marbach is joining us today. Their website is ohiolife.org. Lizzie, welcome to the program.
Much for having me on, and I am very excited to be here.
Well, thank you very much. And I know we interact on Twitter a little bit, but I'm glad to finally speak with you here. Before we get into
yeah, absolutely. And you are a friend, to clarify.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Both ways.
I appreciate that. So before we hop into the main topic of this, which we all know the news that's going on in Ohio right now, can you introduce yourself as well as the organization Ohio Right to Life to our audience today?
Yes, absolutely. So for starters, myself, my name is Lizzie Marbach. I'm still trying to get used to my new last name. I just got married.
Yeah, congratulations,
December,
by the way, to a great man. I know him well. So
yes, that's how we actually got introduced. I'm pretty sure is through my husband.
Very true.
Yeah, I just got married in December. I'm a very passionate conservative, extremely passionate about the issues that are happening nowadays. So I love to see young people like yourself out there aware, first and foremost, of what's actually happening, and then also trying to dispel the many lies that come from the left. So speaking of lies, with Ohio Right to Life, the organization that I work for, our main mission has been from the very beginning to end abortion from conception all the way up through natural death, to advocate for human life, for the right to life, the right to not be killed by other people. You'd think that would not be a controversial thing, but unfortunately it is today. So that is what our organization was founded on, is to end abortion and also advocate just for the right to life all the way up to natural death. And that's what we're continuing to do.
And it really shouldn't be controversial, but we have these crazy people out there. I like to call them. I don't even consider them left-wing, because I think the majority of left-wing has some sort of restrictions on that. There is the major far lefties that are like up to birth, and that's really where we need to start with pulling it back. So before that, I know Ohio passed a 6-week heartbeat bill. Has that done anything so far? Because I know 6 weeks is kind of close, not quite where we should be. But I know they've passed it. Has it actually done anything? Is abortion currently illegal or prohibited in Ohio in any way?
Yeah, so June 24th, 2022, when the Dobbs decision came down, the heartbeat law at that point in time was blocked by a judge here in Ohio. Luckily, because of the Dobbs decision, we were able to get the heartbeat law unblocked and enforced. And so from June 24th until September 14th, the heartbeat law was in effect. It was being enforced, and it was saving lives. I think that it was over 2,000 lives that were saved due to the heartbeat law being enforced. However, that, as I just noted, that ended on September 14th because the pro-abortion side sued like they usually do. They shopped for the perfect judge that they knew would give them the answer that they wanted. And Judge Christian Jenkins down in Cincinnati, he put a block on the heartbeat law again. And so currently the heartbeat law is not in effect, and abortion is unfortunately legal in Ohio until 22 weeks of pregnancy. So that is over 5 months pregnant. That's a very, very long time into pregnancy that abortion is legal in Ohio right now. And so what we're waiting for is Attorney General Dave Yost. He has already filed an appeal on that block, so that hopefully the Ohio Supreme Court, thanks to our recent election getting a conservative majority on our Supreme Court, that they will overrule that, and that the heartbeat law will be able to be enforced again. We're hoping for by the end of this summer that will happen, but it's really up to the will of the Ohio Supreme Court to first and foremost decide to take on the case, and then obviously rule on the side of life. Thanks to the fact that they are pro-life, we're hopeful in the decision that they'll make, but trying to predict what the court does is never an easy job.
We've got some great justices there. I know Sharon Kennedy, especially the Chief Justice now, which is kind of weird to rephrase that. She's a great person. I believe she'll do very well in that and bringing that up. So I'm excited to hear that you guys have an appeal process to that. But the left is currently trying to go over their head, over the head of the Ohio legislatures, over the head of the people mostly. I mean, ballot issues to kind of hop into it are very low informed most of the time. So what is the left trying to do right now using our constitutional process to add the non-existent right to an abortion to our Constitution?
Well, what they're trying to do exactly what you just said, and that's go over the head of the constitutional republic that we have put in place with legislators, with Supreme Court, with the justices. They're trying to supersede all of that and just radically change Ohio's constitution, because they know that abortion is not a constitutional right in the state of Ohio or nationally. They know that that's not the case. So instead, they're just trying to add that right into Ohio's constitution. And so they just announced last week that they will be bringing a ballot initiative to this November's election. And on that ballot initiative, it's extremely deceptive how they have it worded. And so they're trying to tell voters that this ballot initiative would only allow abortion up until the point of viability, which is typically around 24 weeks. However, they go on to say that viability can only be decided on a case-by-case basis, and it's up to each individual doctor to decide when viability is. And so with the language, it would allow for some extremely radical things. First and foremost, abortion up and through 9 months is the most radical. Wow. It would remove all protections that we currently have in place for the unborn and for the woman. It would also remove parental consent. And so a 13-year-old girl could walk into an abortion clinic and their parents wouldn't have to know at all. In fact, they would be protected from having to tell their parents. And so parental consent would be removed. Any kind of health regulation for these abortion mills would be removed. And so there would be no oversight, making sure that they're medically safe for the women when they come in. And so really, truly radical stuff is in this ballot initiative, but they've worded it so deceptively, like they always do, that they're trying to trick Ohio voters. And you were completely right at the beginning when you said that a ballot initiative typically is going after those low information voters that don't really understand what they're voting for. And they're just reading a quick, 2 to 3 paragraph explanation of what this ballot initiative is. But if it's extremely vague and confusing, most of the time they don't even understand what they're voting for. And so it's very dangerous.
Not only that, is it low information voters? Is it low information voters who are going to vote in an off-year election when there's no local or not very many local issues on the ballot, no statewide elections, no congressional elections? It is a completely municipal level election only, and they're putting this massive amount of pressure on the voters to come out in a low-year election. So to kind of do some activism here for the listeners, here in Ohio and nationwide, you need to vote in November. November, every primary vote in every election. But that's besides the point. Do we think this has the signatures to make the ballot so far?
Unfortunately, I do think that they're going to have the infrastructure to collect the signatures that are needed. So far, they've already collected about 7,000 signatures. They'll need to collect 413,000. So we'll see if they're able to get that. But because of the tens of millions of dollars that floods in from the abortion lobby nationwide, they have an unlimited source of income, unfortunately. And so I really do think that they will be able to get the signatures. That is our first course of action, though, is to put a stop to that, to go to wherever they are collecting signatures and warn these people who are signing the petition about what they're actually signing, so that they're informed on that, because we know that the abortion lobby isn't going to tell them what they're signing for. Right. So we do want to try to prevent that, but I do think that they have a strong likelihood of collecting the signatures. However, the next course of action, so they just submitted the language last week. The Attorney General now has 10 days since they submitted it to either approve or deny it. I'm guessing because of the vagueness that Attorney General Davios will deny that, because there is a law within our Constitution that says that any ballot initiatives have to be single issue. It can't be conflated with a million different issues. And the way that the ballot initiative is written right now, it's conflating IVF, contraception, abortion, pregnancy care. It's conflating a multitude of issues. So I don't think that he's going to accept it. So if he does reject it, then they'll have to go and rewrite it and then submit it again. So that will kind of prolong the process, but you just never know. And we know that they have a ton of money backing them. And so I don't want to underestimate their capabilities.
Right. It's single issue, issue 1, issue 2, issue 3. It's not issue 1 through 6. You get to vote all at once.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly.
So I know you guys are going to need support for this. I'm sure after Roe was overturned, the support for the organization kind of dropped because people thought, okay, abortion's illegal now. Those kind of lower informed voters, like we mentioned before, that supported the organization. We're going to need volunteers. You're going to need donations. How can people do that?
Yes. If you go to ohiolife.org, you can sign up to volunteer there as well as donate. There's 2 big buttons on there that you can click to do either or. And you're completely right. We're going to need as many hands on deck for this. We're going to have to create the largest grassroots program that Ohio has ever seen, because like you said earlier, this is going to be a low turnout election. This is an off year election. It's when nobody is really paying attention. The only other races that'll be on the ballot are going to be for school board, which we should be going out to vote for those as well. The silver lining is maybe we'll be able to get a bunch of conservatives on our school boards as well, because they'll be coming out to vote against this ballot initiative. But yeah, we'll be needing tons of people to go out, to knock on doors, to make phone calls, to just talk to their neighbors and explain to them what is actually taking place on this ballot initiative. So please go to ohiolife.org. You can go to ohiolife.org/donate to donate directly, or just ohiolife.org to sign up to volunteer. We are also looking for as many medical professionals to sign on with us and to be a part of our growing list of doctors that stand against this ballot initiative. Because what the other side has is they do have about 1,400 doctors that have signed on to this ballot initiative. And for reference, 1,400 doctors is about less than 4% of the medical professionals in the state of Ohio. But when you just hear that number, you think, oh, that's a lot. So
Right.
we want to combat that with our own list of doctors that stand against this, that speak clearly, and that add to the conversation that this is not a monolith in the medical community. And there is a large group of medical professionals that stand against this kind of radicalism. So if you are one of those, please go to our website as well, ohiolife.org. It's right at the top, and you can sign up to volunteer for that.
ohiolife.org, ohiolife.org. That is probably going to be the most important website you go to this year when it comes to elections and donations you make. We know we have a lot of donors that listen to the show, donating to candidates. Go out there, ohiolife.org. Lizzie Marbach, I want to get you some followers out there too, people who follow you, because you post pro-life all the time, pro-life and gospel, and I appreciate everything you post. What's your social media, and how can people find you on social media as well as Ohio Right to Life, and just get the message out there?
Well, thank you so much. On Twitter, it's just Lizzie Marbach, at Lizzie Marbach. That's Lizzie with an I-E, not a Y. And then as far as Ohio Right to Life, and on Twitter, it's at Ohio Life. And then on Instagram and Facebook, it's Ohio Right to Life.
So follow those pages, keep up to date with them, volunteer your time, donate your dollars, however you can help this fantastic group combat these radical takeover of our state, of our process. Lizzie Marbach, welcome to the show. I hope we can have you back again, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on, and I would love to come back whenever you'd have me.
And I can do doors, I can do phone calls. Keep me in mind. My name is GOP Josh.
I will keep you working.
All right. My name is GOP Josh. This is the Conservative Crusader, back after this on the Red Future Radio Network. All right.
You're listening to the
let this
Conservative
play out.
Crusader.